Hello and welcome back to more Generator Rex Unveiled, and make way for a little revolution because today we're going to be talking about how powerful is the Evo Breach. Of the residents of Abysses and the members of the pack, Breach is perhaps the most essential and insane Evo within Van Clyce's arsenal. While childish and seemingly innocent, throughout the series we learn that Breach is incredibly mentally unstable, showcasing a personality that borderlines codependent and traumatized. Breach uses her powers offhand in a way to kinda remedy that. Akin to her name, Breach, she can form rifts in literal space and time, meaning Breach can literally open up holes in reality and existence as we know it. These rifts, as we'll call them, can become cross-dimensional. Her target's size doesn't matter, the number of targets is irrelevant, and it doesn't matter where she is. She often even creates dramatic entries by emerging from ceilings and rising from the floor, and can even throw the rifts like shuriken discs. She can employ punches and kicks through her portals and place them in unpredictable spots to hit her opponent, and the key thing to note about the rifts is that whatever goes through them keeps the same momentum as when it comes out. Breach's rifts are an oddity by themselves. She can control them either telepathically, using her hands, or even while bound with her mind. The inside of her rifts appear to be a space by themselves, as Breach stands within them and can often see other people peer through them. Now, things get a little bit more serious. Breach's rift can tear out pieces of whatever they touch, pull things inside of them at great speeds, and like I said earlier, once amped by Van Clyce's contraption, teleport things forward and backwards in time. The latter best shown when she cashed Van Clyce literally thousands of years back in the past, or when she ripped the T-Rex into the future to fight Rex. Through the use of these powers, Breach has an entire private dimension at her hands, where she, much like her own creepiness, has a creepy obsession and stores things that she likes and wants. In her pocket dimension, Breach could be seen as omnipotent, knowing what happens within it as she can react to things being destroyed, and destroy and pretty much reset the entire dimension altogether. I think that this should point to that on a separate scale that Breach, if pushed, could likely cause a much more, or I guess you could say, massive scale incident, as she would literally rip open space and time. With that explained, theoretically speaking for a second, Breach is actually the most dangerous Evo on the planet. Though in the show, we see her get beat up regularly by Rex and Six, that's obviously for plot armor and protagonist powers. Breach is easily capable of dispatching entire armies, even powerful opponents she can teleport or store in her pocket dimension. She's teleported Six and Bobo halfway across the planet before they could even react. Even without that, her rifts show that if she were more creative, she could employ them in ways like the disc, or by ripping her opponent in half like Noob Saibot from Mortal Kombat. Like, seriously, what's stopping Breach from creating rifts inside of her foe? I'll tell you what, G-rated cartoon writing. Like, literally, even when Rex eventually controls all of the Master Nanites and wipes Nanites off the planet, Breach is still shown with her dimensional rifts escaping with the rest of the pack. And this can take notice to suggest that Breach could escape planet-sized devastation. Knowing these things, I'd actually say Breach could contend with a lot of literal anime powerhouses, if the writing could scale to it. In the end, this is all theoretical, but we know at the end of the series, her and the rest of the pack did, in fact, escape with their nanites intact. Who knows, maybe one day we'll finally get that Generator Rex reboot.